Hey, it's Matthew.
Hey, it's Tyler.
Yeah, see, okay, that you won't believe it, but that's a theme song to a Canadian children's television program.
Wow, what is that, fucking Bluey or some shit?
It's called. Oh no, is that good? Is Bluey good?
Bluey? I don't have children, so I haven't watched it personally, but I have friends who are parents. Yeah, I know you can just watch it even without having kids, but I have other stuff to do. I have friends who are parents, and they have told me that it is actually entertaining to watch with your child. Like it's not just one of those shows like a Dora or
Yeah,
like
yeah,
an
I've heard
Oswald or
that.
something. Yeah, where it's just for the kids and you just have to suffer the whole way through.
Yeah, see, okay, for whatever reason, Bluey just kind of comes up in my. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. It's like you're kind of my collective consciousness, like that, you know,
Hello.
like my, like my life, right? Like
Yeah, yeah, I know
it
what
just
that is.
seems to come up in the day to day pretty frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Some sometimes I'll just see something about it, or somebody will say something about it. And I've always been like, oh yeah, that thing, and it just kind of like I've heard people being like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, maybe
It's
we should maybe we should watch it.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know, like you always feel kind of weird watching a kids show without a kid.
We could we can make one.
A kids show?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
No.
No, seriously, like growing. I mean, not seriously about the joke I just made about what we were talking about just a second ago. Oh God.
No, we can make a kids show. We could
Yeah,
we could do
that's
like it's like They Might Be Giants, right? Like it was like an adult, not an adult thing, but it's for grown-ups,
right.
a band, and then they did some kids albums, right?
Yeah, Super
It could be
FX.
like that.
Oh my God, straight up, I'm so glad I backpedaled on this, but now I have to say it. You know, like Beavis and Butthead do America,
No,
like
wait,
right?
no. What's that?
Oh, do you know Debbie Does Dallas? Is that? Do you know what that
Who
is?
the hell is Debbie?
Are really? Is that not like an X does Y? Is not like a fucking like familiar title phrasing
No,
to you?
I guess it is, but I don't.
Okay, I was about to use that same phrasing for us like doing a kids album, and I swear to God, I was about to fucking speak the words Super FX does kids, and I had to fucking backpedal. This would have been way funnier if you fucking knew what
Okay,
that was.
I just looked up Debbie Does Dallas. Do not look up Debbie Does Dallas. Just
Yeah,
don't look it up.
so Super FX is specifically. I mean, if children listen to this, hey guys, what's up? We say fuck a lot. I hope that's cool with you.
No,
But
dude,
like,
you're gonna get us kicked off the podcast store.
I, I said the story where I shit myself. We're gonna get kicked off the podcast store.
The
Anyway,
show, the show is not for children. If
yeah,
you're a child and you're listening, stop listening
yeah,
to this podcast.
yeah. If you're here,
Not for children.
hello, but like, you probably shouldn't be here.
Also,
Probably.
how the hell did you get here? Who
Yeah,
let you in?
yeah.
Is that
What are
door
you doing,
unlocked? Matthew, I
dude?
told you to lock that door.
Was that
There's
Dora
fucking
the
kids all over in
Explorer
here now.
unlocked? Oh man, they got out of the Super FX kid basement jail that we set up. Oh wait, shit, fuck, we're not supposed to talk about that.
Get out of here. Start the show. Start the show.
Okay, all right. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Super FX, the show where this is adults only, we promise. I'm Matt,
I'm Tyler.
and this is episode 27. What's going on?
Hell yeah, it is. Yo, Matt. Okay, let me tell you. This is a game podcast, right? We talk about games.
Yeah, sure. Sure we do.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in all types of games. Digital, physical, a
Truth or
third
dare.
type.
Yeah.
Uh, wait, what?
I
Truth
guess
or
that
dare?
counts. I guess that counts as a physical game, huh?
Yeah. Let me tell you, my Edmonton Oilers are going off the chain at the moment.
Oh
They play
yeah.
a game. It's called hockey. It's called ice hockey. And here's the thing: Oilers used to be good. They had Wayne Gretzky. You know him.
I do know him.
They had him for a long time, and they were good. And then they didn't have him, and then they weren't good for a long time. And until very recently, um, and now they're kind of doing good right now, and that is crazy. And dude, the whole fucking city is going bazonkers.
Dude, when you say going bazonkers, like on social media, or are people
Okay,
like
so
partying in the streets?
do people? It's a party right now. Whenever the Oilers are playing, and they especially if they win, people driving up and down the streets honking and
Yeah.
climbing shit and the
Yeah,
whole nine
dude.
yards.
It's a
But here's
fucking
the thing:
party
is
in the
that
Commonwealth realm, dude.
yeah, here's the funny thing about the Oilers. They they have a rival, Calgary. You know Calgary. Their rival is the Calgary Flames. So when
Okay.
the Oilers and Calgary play each other, they call it the Battle of Alberta. And our Canadian listeners probably will be familiar with this, but our American listeners absolutely no way will be familiar with this. So these two hockey teams, they play each other. It's called the Battle of Alberta. And here's the thing: is that they're playing in the playoffs now against each other for the first time in 30 years, 31
No.
years, in fact. Uh, yeah, and like it's kind of crazy because people like they actually have to like up police presence and everything because like there is some concern that people will die.
Wow, that's very unusual for
Well, yeah,
like.
it is like some people do consider it to be like one of sports' greatest rivalries, or
Uh-huh.
like especially in Canada, like it's definitely the biggest like Canadian sports rivalry.
Mhm.
Yeah, it gets heaty.
That's the sort of
Anyway,
shit
so,
like I never hear happening anywhere else. Like during the Super Bowl, shit like that will happen here all the time, but not for any other sport anywhere else, as far as I had ever heard before. So
yeah, like the last time the Oilers lost in the playoffs, like there were like cars overturned on fire, like that kind of thing.
yeah,
So the first game of this playoff round is tonight. So hopefully it goes well.
yeah.
Uh, but that's kind of my world lately. We went down to kind of watch one of the games. They were like, getting into the arena. It's like $1 million. So they like play it outside, on
Mhm.
like a big screen, and there's like this big plaza, and people show up and watch the game outside and get drunk, and it's a big party. It got rowdy as all hell. Rowdy as all get out, and that's what we did because it was too rowdy, and so we left because like Lauren was getting like Lauren got puked on by some dude.
Oh no.
Yeah, dude, it was messed up. So we like went and watched it inside the arena on a screen inside the arena, and that was a lot better. Still fun, but not as disgusting. People were just like pissing on the side of the arena and stuff. It was wild. This is Canadian hockey, folks. It's a hoot. It's a
It
hoot
gets
and a half.
intense. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, no, I'm not the biggest sports fan in the world. I'll enjoy a sports game. When you came to visit me that one time, I remember we went to see the Mets. And for those of you out there who
see
are
the
Mets
Mets.
fans, I guess I'm sorry your team is really bad. And this is coming from someone who's not a sports fan. Um,
I don't even. Did they win that game? I don't even remember.
I
think
don't
they
fucking
did.
remember. Who cares?
The Mets are actually doing good right now, for what it's worth.
Wow. I guess there's
Yeah,
a first
Mets.
time for
The Mets
everything.
are currently like actually pretty sick.
We're gonna lose so many fucking. We're gonna lose all one Mets fan who listens to this podcast because I just said that.
Well, they just became more of a Tyler stan and less of a Matt stan.
I suppose that is true.
Everybody's got a favorite, right?
Yeah.
In any famous duo, you always there's always
Yeah. In every famous duo, there's always the one that people like more, and for Super FX, it's God, I think it's probably split evenly down the middle. It's your left half or your right half, and then I'm just somewhere off in the distance.
No, fuck off. People love you. The
Aw,
fans,
Tyler.
they love you.
Guys,
We're
leave a
like
comment. What's your favorite thing about me? I've had anxiety the past 2 weeks, and I really need the boost.
it's like imagine if somebody was like, "Hey, who do you prefer more, Penn or Teller?"
That's actually hard to choose because they're so radically different from each other. I don't know who
Yeah.
I prefer.
Yeah, right. Like that's like you and
Yeah.
me, maybe. I don't know.
I don't
if
know.
one of us just like didn't talk at all.
I definitely God, if only that were me. Uh, do, speaking of not talking at all, would you like to do the complete opposite and discuss some video games?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. I can here. Let me go first. I'm just gonna voluntold myself.
Oh my god, how can you guys like this motherfucker? He's so selfish.
It's the reason is because my thing is probably far less interesting than your thing because I mean that's debatable because
I don't think that's true, but you go ahead anyway.
I've been playing Tunic still. I have finished it sort of.
Okay. What do you mean?
So if you're playing Tunic, I'm gonna here's the fucking disclaimer. If you're playing Tunic, if you really want to play Tunic, stop listening. Because I'm going to say some things about it, and I want you to go into
Spoiler
it blind.
warning. Okay, spoiler warning. Let me write that fucking down for the edit. Spoiler warning.
Yeah, put some big like air horns or something. Maybe don't do that because that's like annoying. You know when you're like driving down the road and a song has like sirens in it.
Yeah. Oh my god, that drives me fucking crazy. I've put air horns in our podcast a couple of times, but I always put them in super duper low, and I usually mention when they're about to happen. So
Okay, air horns are about to happen. Air horns are about to happen.
here we go.
Spoiler warning for Tunic. Don't listen to it if you want to play Tunic and you don't want it to be spoiled, which you shouldn't. Okay, the game kind of has two endings, but I don't know if I want to say it's like a good ending and a bad ending, and it's kind of like a completionist thing in a way. I don't know how to explain it. It's like yes, there are two endings. One of them is you fight the final boss and you defeat the final boss, and then the credits roll. But there's also an alternate ending where you kind of collect all of the pages of the manual and then use the manual to solve a puzzle that gains you entrance into this kind of secondary area. Then you, instead of fighting the final boss, you kind of befriend it in a way.
Okay.
And that's the alternate ending. And so you can't really do both, but it does that thing where it's like if you beat the game and get the credits, you can like just load that save file again, and it loads your save before you beat the boss.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you can easily get both endings, and it's no problem. So I did get both endings. The final puzzle in the game is absolutely incredible, and you have to have the entire manual completed. You need all the pages, and then you basically open a door, and like you have to figure out this like very intricate path using every page of the manual. It's super super cool. So it's worth it to go back and get both endings. However, I'm still currently missing some of the like secret collectible items in the game, and from what I kind of figure, collecting these items requires you to completely translate all of the fictional language that is in the game.
No fucking way. Oh, I gotta
Yeah.
play this shit. That's like one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that.
I love that.
Yeah, and so the really cool thing, and this is a pretty big spoiler. So I'm sorry for ruining for you, Matt, but it's for the sake of the podcast.
It's okay. I'll play it anyway.
So you know how like NES manuals, at the end of the manual they'll have a couple page like the memos
The
pages,
notes section, yeah.
So those memos pages are like kind of filled out with some stuff, and it's filled out in the sense of it looks like you're just reading somebody's manual who was like playing through the game, right? And they scribbled in some notes.
Yeah.
And pretty much the last page that you collect in the manual has like it's not it's not a guide on how to translate the language, but it kind of gives you like the first step on how to translate the language, and it gives you some like very, very vague examples.
Okay.
Like, and it's not in English. It's using like only like pictures. So, for instance, one of them, it's like it breaks down the language, like the script, into parts, and it'll have a picture of a sword, and it'll be like this word means sword, and it breaks it into these parts, and so you kind of learn like, okay, like the characters break into sounds based on which characters they use. It's brilliant. Like this dude created a whole language for the game.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I have most of the secrets, but not all of them. And so from what I gather is that there's a couple, maybe like 2 or 3 secrets that you can't really get without knowing the language. And then on top of that, there's a ton of kind of Easter egg bits that you also need to know the language for, because there's a ton of it throughout the world, and a lot of it you'll never need to know. But if you can translate it, going back and kind of reading it apparently is quite rewarding. And apparently, I was reading that there is an augmented reality game as well, because there is some text apparently in the game that like directs you to a website, and then the website has additional stuff, and it's like this whole like, you know.
Oh, that's like some PS2 era shit.
Yeah, yeah. So even though I've finished the game, I still have to like 100% it to get these secrets. And even once I've 100%ed the game, there is still more to go back and discover.
Yeah.
So the game just keeps on giving.
This fictional language, it uses its own glyphs, or is it in like Latin characters?
No, it's its own glyphs. It's
That's
its own
fucking awesome.
thing. And yeah, it's kind of hard to explain, but it uses like it kind of has an outer ring. Each character has like an outer ring and an inner ring, and the sections of the kind of rings, I guess, that it uses dictate what sounds it makes. It's very interesting. I don't know enough about like languages and linguistics and stuff to like maybe fully appreciate it, but it seemed very like far more advanced than I thought it would be.
Yeah, visitors to the Super FX website who have taken a look at the About section will know that I am a linguist. That's my second hobby after video games, and I'm a language instructor. And so shit like this really, really tickles me. I gotta fucking look at that.
Yeah. Additionally, one thing I want to mention is I did try out this game. So I've been playing it on Xbox One X.
Okay.
On Game Pass.
On Game Pass, yeah.
And, yeah, and the thing that something that kind of surprised me was that it has like some decently sluggish load times. The rest of the game is fine. Like it's not slow at all, and until you like exit one area and enter another area, and you know, black screen, you get a little loading icon, and those like take like not long. It's not like PS2 or anything like that, but it's you know, it's surprisingly long, enough that I was like, huh, this is kind of long, you know, and enough that by the end of it I was like, come on, let's go. You know. And so I thought that was kind of interesting, considering, you know, it's like the Xbox One X, which is like it's not the Series X, but it's like still like it was like the beefy console like a couple years ago, right? And this is not an exactly demanding game, so I thought that was kind of interesting. But then I tried out what Microsoft calls Xbox Cloud Gaming, which is not, I learned, Xbox Play Anywhere. That's something else. Xbox Cloud Gaming is where you can load your Game Pass games, I guess, on any other device, a Mac, an iOS device, a PC, Android device, anything like that, and it streams the game from the cloud. It's running off some server, probably in North Carolina or whatever, and then you can control it on your phone. So it's all streaming, but it keeps your save, and you can use touch controls or you can pair a controller. And so I was at work and I was on my lunch break and I decided to try it out just to see how it was, not really intending to like, you know, really play it on there, but just kind of out of curiosity try it out.
Right.
And the load times were like nothing, like super quick.
What?
And I'm like, what
It's
server?
like the total opposite of expectation.
I know. what server is running the game out there in North Carolina that is loading this faster than the Xbox does? Like I was like I couldn't believe it. And the game itself, like it ran fine. The like obviously like the it's compressed so you don't get like the graphical fidelity that you would playing on a home console. There's also
Yeah.
a little bit of lag. So it maybe like really like kind of Twitch focused games, FPSs, something like that. I probably wouldn't play on that. But this was playable. It was totally playable, and the load times were less. So like, if I had a very like a really if I was at home with a strong internet connection, I might consider playing this game on cloud streaming rather than just running it directly on my Xbox because it was like almost a better experience doing it that way.
Yeah.
So that was just I don't know. That was weird, but
You know, you mentioning before like that the cloud streaming and play anywhere are not the same thing. Just kind of like that's something that's kind of like a pet peeve of mine in gaming, where different services will have very similar names or names that sound like they could be exactly the same thing, and they do a very poor job of explaining the actual differences. Like,
holy shit, dude.
it's like if fucking Xbox came out tomorrow with, we have two new services. We have Xbox Chair Sitting and Xbox Sit in a Chair.
Dude, Microsoft is at the absolute worst for this. I think
know.
we've talked about this on the show before,
We
but
may have. It's a big pet peeve of mine.
Microsoft, I absolutely think that Microsoft is going in the correct direction for video games. It is not the one that I personally want or I personally desire,
Same.
but to grow gaming and to make gaming a more profitable business for themselves, I think they are making the right strides in kind of going all into Game Pass and making it so you can play your Xbox games kind of on any device, right? They're trying to do the Netflix of games, and I think that is where gaming is going. Again, not the one that I want, but I think that's where it's going, and I think Microsoft is making the right strides to do it.
Yeah,
However,
I agree.
Microsoft is absolutely terrible at branding this stuff. You, Matthew, you can use
Yep.
your Xbox Series X or your Xbox Series S to play Xbox One or Xbox Series blank games through Xbox Game Pass on Xbox Cloud Gaming.
I want to die.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Xbox Play Anywhere is like a thing where you can. I think it just means that Xbox games you're playable on your Windows PC. But you can also play those same games using Xbox Cloud Gaming on your Windows PC. And those aren't Xbox Game Pass games. So, for instance, like Xbox Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves is available as a standalone purchase, or it's on Xbox Game Pass. It's an Xbox Play Anywhere game, but you
Wait,
don't
what
have
game?
to buy it. Xbox Play Anywhere. It's an
Wait,
Xbox
I'm
Play
sorry.
Anywhere game.
Wait, hey, you cut out there. What game are we talking about?
Sea of Thieves.
Why don't you see if these nuts will fit in your mouth?
Get out of here. I'm done talking about this.
This isn't for kids. This show's not for kids.
The only other game I've been playing this week, really, is Mario Party Superstars.
Oh yeah.
And I talked about it last time, and
yeah,
then I
we
bought
touched
it.
upon it. Yeah.
And then I bought it, and it's so good. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
the perfect Mario Party game. It's exactly what I want in a Mario Party game.
Dude,
and
now
every
you
time
get
I
to
play
online
it,
with me and the guys.
yeah, I haven't done any online stuff on it yet, but I want to. It's
you
like,
can.
dude, I can't. What?
But you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your point?
My point is, do you remember when you and I both got Super Mario Party and we tried to play online and we were both
Oh, yeah, and it
fucking
sucked.
incredibly disappointed with it?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is literally what we were looking for.
Yeah, we should play it. It's like I really want to know what happened at Nintendo. Like, I wish I could have sat in on the discussion where they were like, okay, Super Mario Party came out. It was good, but what should we do for the next Mario Party? And somebody was like,
Make it good again.
which genius was in that room? Like, which absolute, like, baller intern came up and was like, hey, let me fucking tell you what people want out of a Mario Party game, and like had this list of things like, you know, speed up the fucking CPU characters, and like don't make me watch the fucking CPU do their duel battle together, and you know, like all this
Look
stuff.
at me in the eyes. Mario Party 1, Mario Party 2, Mario Party 3, Mario Party 4, Mario Party 5, Mario Party 6. Look at me more in the eyes, okay? That's it. Do that.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, it's so good. It's exactly what I want in a Mario Party game, and it's just mind-boggling to me that it took them like 14 games to get up to this.
The
point.
execs at Nintendo are just like, oh my god, that's honestly a brilliant idea. You need a promotion. What's your name? And the dude's like, I don't even work here, and he just fucking leaves.
Oh, I'm just the janitor.
No, the janitor works there. This guy was just a fan who finally got a way to get in and strolled in off the street.
I tried to do that once. One time when we were in Seattle, we went
You tried to get into the fucking board meeting? Like, listen, we need a new F-Zero. We need it now.
No, we went to Nintendo of America, and like we walked up to the, like, you can go outside of the building, and there's like a sign. We like took a picture by the sign, and you can like walk up to the building, but if you like pull on the door, it's like locked, and you need the fucking like key fob to get in or whatever. Yeah. And like, it's like you could like see like the receptionist or whatever like sitting at the desk like staring at us. We're like, oh, okay.
They don't give me enough
we're just here to talk to Reggie. We just want to talk to Reggie.
Give us Mother 3.
Hey, Reggie has a book out. Hey.
Yes, he does. I have been thinking about picking it up, actually.
Me too. I have not, but
Super FX Book Club.
Yeah, we'll read the Reggie book.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on it.
The Reggie book.
I don't even know what it's called. All I know is that Reggie wrote a book. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's what I got.
That's that.
That's what I brought to the table today.
So the last couple weeks, the last time that we met and we spoke, I had just finished Omori, and that game left me quite shocked, quite paralyzed, honestly, emotionally. It didn't like really affect my mood or anything, but I thought about it a lot, and then Jackie started playing it, and now she's thinking about it a lot, and now we're talking about Omori in our house a lot. So that's that. I just wanted to touch upon that. But for the past couple weeks, since I finished Omori, I actually haven't played that much. Without going into too much depth, the last couple of weeks have been a little tough emotionally, so I haven't really been focusing on playing anything. But just a couple days ago, I mustered up the courage.
Wait, can I guess? Can I guess what you played?
Yeah.
Is it Bomberman Zero?
No.
Oh fuck.
It's Bomberman Hero.
Oh right.
Really close though.
I forgot that's what the fucking game is actually called.
Yeah. you read exactly.
I was
in the fucking show notes.
No, I was thinking of that other one, Bomberman Act Zero.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, if I wrote that in the show notes, I probably would have called it something like Halo : Bomberman. No. I'm 100%ing Bomberman Hero for Nintendo 64. And boy howdy, that game's fun as shit, dude! Holy fuck, man. I love that game.
So it's better than Bomberman Act Zero.
I haven't played Bomberman Act Zero. I have it, and I'm sure that I'll suffer through it at some point. But I know what it is.
Dude, why do they have a game called Bomberman Hero and a game called Bomberman Act Zero?
They should have just had a game called Bomberman Act Hero, where you act like a hero, but everyone's actually really pissed at you. God, that Bomberman's so fucking smug. He's not a real hero.
What the fuck are they doing over there at Konami? Come on, Konami. I mean, I know exactly what they're doing.
Well,
now.
I think it was still Hudson Soft at that time, but yeah, Bomberman's owned by Konami now. And God, I love Konami, but I don't know if Bomberman is... Well, not the way they are now, but I love the memory of Konami. I don't know if Bomberman is in good hands anymore with them being a Konami property now. I miss Hudson. But
okay, so tell me about Bomberman Hero.
So rather than being a traditional Bomberman game where you have to clear the stage of all of the enemies while trying to avoid blowing yourself up, getting collectibles that enhance your weaponry and your damage output, etc., Bomberman Hero is a fully fledged level-based 3D action platformer. And it takes place in the Bomberman universe, but it's just get from point A to point B, and then you move on to the next level. There's a plot. The plot is not worth talking about. Save the princess. Like, literally, save the space princess. But it's really fucking fun. It marries together the game mechanics of Bomberman, especially the battle modes of most Bomberman games, with regular 3D platforming. It's really fucking fun. I've played it a lot, actually. I used to rent it a ton growing up, and I have beaten that game a billion times without 100%, because the 100% criteria for the game, while incredibly understandable and easy to do, is a little bit daunting, because in order to 100% the game, there are two things to do. You have to collect every single item, every single power-up, and destroy every enemy in every stage, and you have to find, I think it's like 24 hidden, like, purple spheres. I don't know what their official name is. I'll look it up eventually. That's it, though. But
he's gonna put it on the YouTube video. Watch the YouTube video if
Sure,
you really want to know what the purple
fuck
spheres
not.
are called. Because I know all of our listeners are absolutely, enamored and are dying to know the name of those purple spheres. If you want to know, check us out on YouTube.
yeah,
Because the name is
now I
showing
gotta-
on your screen right now.
thank you.
I fucking love just giving
Why
you
don't,
more work to
why
do.
don't you? You know what? You're the editor now. No, it's okay.
Matt's gonna put a picture of my face. It's gonna be like spinning a bunch of this like fireworks and shit right now.
Oh well, now that's even more work. You know what? I'll think about that one. But yeah. So realistically, it's just a find the hidden treasures kind of game. There aren't really any extra actions you have to take or anything like that. There are some hidden stages, but as long as you're already exploring for all of the items in the stage, you'll find the secret exits to the hidden stages. The real daunting task, though, is this is incredibly tight. There's like no fucking room for error, and the game doesn't tell you when you've gotten everything. You just have to know. Instead of telling you like you have this many out of this many items required, at the end of the stage, you have to meet a certain threshold for points. And every time you pick up an item, it awards you a certain amount of points. It just so happens, though, that the amount of points required to finish each stage is essentially the same amount of points you would get if you got every single thing and killed every single enemy in the stage. But because you don't know what items are in the stage, and everything is worth a different amount of points, and the game doesn't tell you how many points you need until you finish the stage and see how much you failed by, you're going to be repeating stages a lot. It is still fun to do, but I think it was handled a little poorly. But yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's fun, though. Whenever you beat a stage, Bomberman does a flip, and then he goes, I did it! So, it's really fun.
Shit. Every time?
Every single time you beat a stage. Yep.
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
Oh my God.
It's really fun.
Yeah, I have Bomberman Hero. I think I bought it with you at some point actually. And I have it, and I've always like it's one of those. Do you have a game that you like see on your shelf all the time?
Yeah, like 3,500 of them. What's your point?
No, sorry. Do you have fuck off? Do you have one like not maybe one game, but like a game or that you that you see on your shelf like all the time, and you're like, oh yeah, like I should probably play that at some point.
Yeah, I have a lot of those actually.
Like
but yeah.
for some reason, it just like those ones stand out. It might be like the spine art, or for some like it's just like in your field of view frequently or whatever.
Yeah, plenty of them. Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck that game. Yeah, Bomberman Hero is one of those for me.
It's so good.
For some reason, as well as Amped on Xbox.
Oh yeah, dude, I didn't even get to talk about the fucking music. Even if you don't like the game, it's worth just looking up the soundtrack to Bomberman Hero. It is such a bop. I would say that
Wow.
Bomberman Heroes soundtrack marries together kind of like spine-tingling adrenaline with the laid-back vibe of like the lo-fi hip-hop beats to chill/study to.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, so
Let's go.
I
want my
I'm gonna
spine
link
to be tingled while I
in
while
the
I get chill.
Yeah, me too. If you're listening on YouTube, I will in the description of this video give myself more work, and I'll put my favorite track from the game in the stuff that we link to. That'll be fucking fun.
Yeah, and he's gonna play it right now on this
No,
video.
no, I'm
the
fucking
audio
not.
guide.
We're gonna
And
fucking.
it's gonna be
fucking DMCA.
backwards and slowed down, and you're gonna have to find the hidden message that Matthew.
What the
places
fuck is
in
this?
it.
The Matt does several edits episode?
I love watching you work.
How do I know you're really doing your job, baby? Unless I fucking tell you. Oh my god! But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Right on.
Yeah, it's absolutely worth checking out, even if you don't 100% it. The game's really fun.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
You know, as usual, I'm trying to be in the business of not feeling the need to 100% games, but then I played
Damn, that's too
Tunic,
bad.
and now fucking Tunic, I have to, like, not only do I have to 100% the game, but I have to do shit on top of it.
Well, it sounds like you're gonna have fun though. So I mean, go fuck
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about that gamer news with an izzard.
Oh, what? Don't they... wait, is there... Wait, don't they sing that song?
Yeah, go ahead. Whatever joke you're about to make, let me hear it.
Don't they sing...
Are you,
Don't they sing
are you talking
Sweet
about who
Home
I think you're
Alabama?
talking about?
Don't they sing Sweet Home Alabama?
You mean Leonard Skinner?
That's what you said.
Yeah, that's what I said. No, for us language fans out there, you might know that izzard.
Oh yeah, I'm a language fan. What are you
Izzard.
a fan of? Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Matthew. I'm a language fan. Big language guy.
Izzard is an archaic name for the letter Z in the English language, but it's not used anymore. I say Z and Tyler says Z, and this is the gamer news with an izzard, or it legally doesn't count. Hi.
You're a fucking dork, Matthew.
Yeah, dude.
PlayStation Plus, as we know,
Which is not the same thing as a PlayStation
now.
Now, and
That's a
also not the
different
same thing
service.
as PlayStation Network.
Here's the thing. PlayStation Plus soon will be the same thing as PlayStation Now, sort of, I guess. PlayStation Now is being kind of absorbed by PlayStation Plus.
They should just call it PlayStation Plus, comma, now, with an exclamation point.
So PlayStation Plus is getting an overhaul. And that's coming in June. I want to say like June 12th? June something. It's coming out. It's getting an overhaul. And they're kind of slowly going the Microsoft route, but they're not quite there yet. So as a recap, PlayStation Plus is going to be split into 3 tiers. You're going to have PlayStation Plus Essential, which is kind of the same as what you get now. PlayStation Plus Extra, which is the same as Essential, but you also get Games on Demand library, which has quote-unquote hundreds of PS4 and PS5 games. And that one's $5 more a month. And then the one everybody cares about, there's PS Plus Premium. So you also get everything in extra. You get everything in extra, but you can also stream and download PlayStation games dating back to the PS1 era. So that's kind of like the current PlayStation Now service. And you also get like trial demo things of new first-party PlayStation games. And that one's $18 a month. So that's kind of the flagship service.
Yeah.
So PlayStation announced last week or this week. It was kind of vague. They kind of sort of announced some of the games that are going to be available on the service.
Hit me.
So you do get like the kind of the highlights from like the Sony's flagships PS4/PS5 games are on there. You get some of those. So you get Ghost of Tsushima, You get Control. You get Spider-Man Miles Morales. You get Death Stranding. You get Guardians of the Galaxy, which was kind of an interesting one. Um, you also get Ubisoft Plus, which is like Ubisoft's like, I don't know, like pay a monthly fee and play some games. You get like that is going to be on there as well, I think, seemingly.
Right.
So like a bunch of Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Trackmania is on there, Watch Dogs. So a bunch of like Ubisoft stuff is on there. But with that pricey tier, you get those classic games, and that's what that you and I care about.
Yep.
So the thing is that they have this classic branding for the games that are on here, and you get Ape Escape is on there, Dark Cloud is on there, Jumping Flash is on there.
Yeah,
which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
You also get Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning.
Okay, that's
that classic game.
Yeah.
And the BioShock remaster. Classic game. So kind of interesting that you get like their classic branding has like some not so classic games. So it's a launch. We'll see how it goes over time. We'll see what they kind of come up with and how they refine it and everything like that. But I'm excited. I have been enjoying Game Pass a little bit more than I expected to, because it's allowed me to kind of try out some games that maybe I wouldn't have otherwise. I booted up Forza Horizon 5 just to kind of like give my new OLED TV a whirl in like 4K or whatever, and that was pretty cool, right? And I wouldn't have been able to do that without Game Pass. The new Halo is on there. Like these kind of services, I think are going to be good to like try out some games and then maybe play them if you like them. I just kind of wish that maybe Sony was going a little bit, heavier into it and kind of going all in. But they seem to still be a little, it's a list of games, and
yeah,
like you know what I mean.
I do.
The Lego Harry Potter collection is on there. Like that's cool. But like, am I really like? There's nothing on here that I'm like, oh my god, thank the Lord.
I mean, it's really cool to see Ape Escape and Jumping Flash, especially. Those have like really big places in my heart. So that's cool. But this reminds me of when we.
Right?
Yes, I do. This reminds me of when we were talking about Nintendo Switch Online's Nintendo 64 pack coming out, and one of the introductory titles was fucking Win Back.
Yeah.
And and that's how I feel about like.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right.
That's pretty much how I feel.
Let's chug along. Other news for the past couple weeks. There was a Nintendo Nindies showcase. I think they officially refer to it as the Indie World Showcase.
Yes.
They showed some indie games.
Yep.
What's that? Wait, hold on. What's that?
So I love to call it the Nindy Windies.
The Nindy Windies.
Yeah.
They showed off some games that are coming to.
You're not even gonna pity laugh, really?
I mean, it was like kind of funny.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, no sweat. There are some games coming to Switch. Ooblets is coming to Switch, which I'm actually excited for because I've wanted to play that for a while. That game looks adorable and fun, and I want to play that, and that seems like the perfect thing for me to play on a Switch. So I'm excited for that.
Hell yeah.
What else did they announce? So a bunch of games that I didn't really recognize. Soundfall, which some people were hyped about. I wasn't familiar with it.
I've never heard of that.
No, Wild Frost is on there, which again I'm not super familiar with. Tabs is on there, and I have some friends who are actually really into Tabs, the totally accurate battle simulator. Gumbrella is on there. There's some games. There wasn't anything on here besides Ooblets that I was like, oh my god, let's go. But I I love watching these like indie reels because like they always have games on there that I'm like, oh, that's interesting, like that's cool.
Yeah.
Um, uh, they have these like this one with like this girl's like visiting somebody in a hospital, and it's like all dramatic and shit. It's called Wayward Strand, and I'm like, wow, like I probably won't ever play that, but I'm glad that somebody is making this game
Yeah.
and like telling this story, and I'm glad that Nintendo is, willing enough to embrace it and to put it on the eShop. I have found myself wishing that Nintendo had a Nintendo Plus Game Pass service, because like there's a lot of this stuff. It's like I don't want to spend $20 on this, but like if I subscribed to a service where I was paying $10-15 a month,
Yeah.
then like I would love to have these like available to play.
Yeah, even if you won't necessarily play them, the fact that they're there is just
Yeah,
a really
and
nice
like
carrot in front of the face.
90% of these games will never get a physical release, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I can go right now and spend 20 whatever dollars on one of these games and like have it on my Switch, and then when the eShop closes on Switch in 10 years, I won't have it anymore. So it's like I don't know, I'm finding myself more and more like I'd much rather pay for the service for a month and like try out some of these things and see if any of them stick,
Yeah.
I don't know. I hate to say it because I'm typically somebody who kind of is a proponent of the value of video games, and I feel like all of these games are worth the price of admission. Like I'm sure that like several of these games are absolutely worth $30 or more.
Yeah,
Based
I agree.
on kind of the love and care and hard work that the developers have put in. But with competitors like Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, like it's becoming more and more of a hard sell for these types of video games, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, I know. We're never gonna have another like Wii shop. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, they
Where-
just took out the W.
it's fuck you. I just got that. By the way, happy Wii Shop Wednesday when we were recording this. But
It's Wii Shop Wednesday. This is not the Wii Shop Wednesday song.
No,
it's
it's
a
not.
different one. I don't know why I sang it.
having all of these digital marketplaces today, I mean, Nintendo still has the eShop, right? Which is, I mean, fairly similar to the Wii Shop, but with Game Pass and PlayStation Plus and stuff like that, I think we're moving toward like more of a like a kind of a buffet table of video games rather than like a storefront, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're not. It's like, what's the analogy? On the buffet table.
It's
On
whatever's there. and you take what
Sony's
you want, and
buffet
then you move
table,
along.
like maybe you're not gonna get the prime rib or the steak or whatever.
Yeah, really, you wouldn't take the prime rib or the steak?
No, it's not gonna be on the buffet table because you got to pay extra.
Yeah. Well, no, what I meant was like whether it's paid or not. It sounds to me like with Game Pass, with PlayStation Plus, stuff like that, you just kind of have like this slew of stuff that just comes included, right? And you have to pick and choose what you like. Just like with a buffet table, you walk up and whatever's there is there, and you just take what you want and leave. Whereas at a store, you walk in and it's still a what's there is there, but it's a much more eclectic selection. There are things that are specifically catered to what you want when you want it, and you can choose to specifically buy whatever you want without the pressure of subscribing to having to stand online at the buffet table. Does that make sense?
Sure, except for that part where you said online. We don't say that here.
Inline.
Mm-hmm.
No, inline
Yeah,
is
like-
inline's for
like-
skates.
Yeah, like skates.
Yeah.
we're a very
Yeah.
skate focused population up north.
We also tend not to say. We just say rollerblades, and I know that's a brand name, but here in America, we just take the brand name, Band-Aids and rollerblades, popsicles.
Kleenex.
Yeah, Kleenex. No, a
All
lot of
right.
people say Kleenex. I just say tissue, man. Anyway.
we gotta chug along here. You wanted to talk briefly about
Oh yeah.
WADA.
WADA disaster. Haha. If you, I'm just gonna fucking start editing crickets in. If if you followed this show, then you'll know that.
Now you're setting yourself up for more work.
Where's my note sheet? I'm just gonna write crickets in all caps and give myself I have to find the fucking timestamp. I'm not gonna write the timestamp. Just kidding. I'm writing the timestamp. It's like 50 minutes.
Okay, WADA.
Hey, WADA. If you followed our show up until this point, first of all, thanks. But second of all, you probably remember maybe, I don't know, I want to say half a year ago, we talked about WADA, which is a company that sells graded video games at auction. And without going into too much extra detail, because otherwise I'd just be here recounting what we said those 6 months ago, they have essentially caused an unfortunate bubble in the video game reselling market, especially for graded games specifically. And over the last 6 months or so, this has finally come to a head, and thank goodness they're finally facing a class action lawsuit. So I know Tyler is normally the one who reads press releases and internet articles, but I'm going to take a stab at this. I hope your feet aren't too big so I can slip into your shoes. But
they're massive.
Yeah. So this is titled "Lawsuit Against Video Game Grading Service WADA Alleges Manipulation of Retro Game Prices." As reported by VGC, collectible grading service WADA is facing a class action lawsuit over allegedly conspiring with Heritage Auctions, who, this is an aside, it's not mentioned in the article, but we talked about this in that episode 6 months ago. Heritage Auctions and WADA are run by the same people, so conspiring may be the wrong word, but conspiring with Heritage Auctions to pump up the value of rare video games. WADA and Heritage both deny any wrongdoing. Grading services like WADA assess the condition of mint video games and assign them a rank based on that physical condition. We know that. Then the games are sealed in a clear plastic housing for preservation with the rating clearly displayed. While communicating with rival rating service VGA to research our roundup of the rarest collectible PC games, a company representative for whatever company wrote this article claimed, quote, "Our company does not provide any type of appraisal service, and the market value is determined by the video game community," which is how it's supposed to be. But the article continues. The class action lawsuit alleges that Heritage and WADA coordinated media appearances and press releases to drive up the prices of collectible games, with Heritage taking a cut of successful sales and WADA's fee for its services being proportional to a game's estimated price. In September 2021, journalist Seth Abramson published an article to his Substack newsletter Retro, alleging that WADA co-founder Mark Haspel was selling a significant volume of WADA-graded games through eBay. I could go on more about exactly what is happening with the with this article here, but essentially, it has finally started to really come to light what happened with WADA. If you followed that episode, then you'll already know this, but I will just mention briefly that there are video games being sold by Heritage Auctions that were graded by WADA that are way, way above their actual value. And I'm talking skyrocketed prices. There's actually a list here of the one we talked about back in, I think it was July, actually, so it was more than 6 months ago. Super Mario 64 sealed sold for $1.5 million after it was graded by WADA. And a sealed copy of Mario 64, sure, it's expensive, but it ain't no fucking $1.5 million. And no collector would ever agree with that price. It was clear from the beginning, just based on our hobby, that this was price gouging on purpose, just for the sake of price gouging, for the sake of profiteering. And, yeah, we're finally seeing an actual lawsuit about it. I didn't even know you could have a lawsuit about this sort of thing. I didn't think that it was technically against the law. I guess that it's not really illegal so much as it is unlawful. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm very glad, though, that WADA's going to be hopefully facing charges, and with any luck, they stop doing this shit.
Yeah, we'll see. This is something that's been going on for like such a long time, like with
Yeah, a
comic books
while.
and like, trading cards and stuff. Like
Yeah.
this is not new. It's just it's new to video games. So I have to say I don't have hope that it's going to end it. But hopefully, they kind of get what they deserve here. We'll see. I
Yeah.
love how at the bottom of the PC Gamer article, Ted Litchfield, he says. Thankfully, the current situation around NFTs and cryptocurrency shows us that the aggressive overvaluing of assets like this could never catastrophically collapse and take people with it.
Motherfucking
So,
Ted Litchfield. That you're not helping.
well, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Um, we got to chug along
Yeah.
because we're doing a long one. We're long boys today. We're always we're always long boys, but this is an especially long one. Um, you picked up some stuff this week.
Yeah.
I also picked up some stuff this past couple weeks.
Uh,
Um,
your story sounds like it's longer than mine. So I'm gonna just go first because mine's incredibly fast. Because it
okay.
happened today. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, over the past couple of weeks, I have been picking stuff up because we talked about my New Year's resolution. I buy something every day. But the past couple of weeks since we had our last episode, nothing's been super amazing. But today, I was at an antique shop, Antique Addicts, which is right near where I live, and they had a sealed blister pack Dreamcast VMU, the white one.
oh,
And
cool.
yeah, they they only wanted $20 for it. So
Yeah,
yeah, I didn't even know they came in blister packs. I assumed that they came in those black
the box.
boxes, like one time you bought one and you gave me the
Yeah,
box.
yeah.
Um, but no, it's in a fucking tall ass blister pack, and it's fucking rad. And even though it's technically sealed, you can technically open it because it's not stapled shut or anything. It's just plastic over cardboard. So if you bend the plastic back, you can take out the VMU. But the VMU is 100% unused. So yeah,
That's really interesting. I'm looking up. I did a quick Google right now, and it looks like almost like it was like a pack in with a game, perhaps.
it might have been.
Um, like certain retailers might have packed it in with a game.
Yeah.
But that sounds like it's something that's like, kind of rare because there's not a ton of pictures at all, actually.
Ooh, hell
Uh,
yeah.
so that's a cool piece to have.
Yeah, it's the white VMU, which I didn't have. I have a red one and I have a blue one, but I collect different models of everything, including memory cards. And the VMUs are really fucking cute and sweet. I always loved them. So
Yeah, and the white's like a classic, like it's like
yeah, of course, it was the original
it's
color,
the
and
advertising one. Yeah,
yeah, it's really nice. But that's pretty
sweet.
much it. I was just really tickled to have found that. But you said you got some good stuff.
I did. So I two of the things I picked. So everything I got was actually at my favorite thrift store.
Shoppers Drug Mart.
That I no, not fuck off, not shop, we will get to Shoppers Drug Mart. That
Yeah,
is coming. Uh, no, my favorite thrift store. I picked up. They had a copy of Turok and Turok 2 for N64.
nice.
Which I was happy to grab because Turok 2 is the black cart, which always looks kind of cool on the shelf.
Hmm.
That's the fucking third Turok game that I've bought in the past like month. I've never played a Turok game, so maybe I'm gonna have to get around to playing one of
Yeah,
those.
hunt some fucking dinos, boy.
But kind of the big find of the what the fuck?
Hello.
There's some very strange noise going on in my apartment at the moment, so you can probably just leave that in. Everybody else can enjoy whatever fucking noise I was just listening to.
Yeah, considering I have to
It's
do like 7 other edits, I'm going to leave it in.
just leave it in. I don't know what that was. Anyway, the kind of big pickup of the month is okay. So probably my least played console that I have in my collection um, is the Sega Master System.
Yeah, that's one of my least played also.
Yeah, and it's really because I didn't really have any good games for it. Um, I had Hang On, Safari Hunt,
Hmm.
and not much else. Um, I
We're gonna play some
got a
Master Systems
lot.
together, yeah.
I got a lot of Master System games. Um, I paid $150
Yo,
Canadian. Uh, so it's not like a steal, but I got a Master System with a controller, an original controller that's in great shape.
uh-huh.
And I got I'll list off some of the games I got. It's there's quite a few. All of them are complete except
Yo,
for My Hero and Rampage.
okay,
But the lot did include Fantasy Zone 2,
nice.
Space Harrier,
Okay, regular or 3D?
Thunderblade, regular,
Okay, I have 3D.
Space Harrier, Thunderblade, Double
Good.
Dragon,
Cool.
California Games,
Nice.
Wonder Boy 3,
Nice.
uh, Action Fighter, Transbot,
Uh-huh.
Great Golf, and then the ones that I was really excited about, Shinobi
Nice.
and Alex Kidd in Shinobi World.
Hell yeah, dude. That's a really good
Yeah.
lot.
I know.
Yeah.
I was so stoked. As soon as I saw Alex Kidd in Shinobi World, I was like, oh, I'm buying this.
Oh yeah. You got. Hey, you have a couple uncommons and rarities in there. Fantasy Zone 2
I know.
is hard to find. I don't have that.
Uh,
I don't have
yeah.
Shinobi either, actually.
There's a couple others in there. Great Golf, Super Tennis is in there. Spy versus Spy is in
Nice.
there. Yeah, so like my Master System collection basically just like quadrupled.
Yeah. A Model
and
1
now I
Master
also have-
System, the blocky big
yeah,
one.
yeah. I would like to get. I really don't want Master System is one of the things where I don't really want to have it hooked up all the time, just due to space. So I would like to pick up a power base converter at some point.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I could just like pop that on the Genesis and play some of that.
Meanwhile, I have a power base converter, but I also have a 32X, so I have no choice but to have them both hooked up.
Ooh, stack that. What's the fucking Tower of Power?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think you can use the power base converter through a 32X, and even if you could, I don't know if I'd want to.
I also back to Shoppers Drug Mart. They did have a deal. I picked up an OLED Switch.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, I paid very little for it, so I was pretty stoked about that, and I got it. Man, the OLED Switch, this display on the OLED Switch, actually the OLED Switch as a whole, it feels like what the Switch should have been when it came out.
Oh, that sounds
and
really nice.
it's probably like, there was probably like budget reasons they wanted to keep costs down and stuff, and so the Switch that we got was the Switch that we got because of that.
Yeah.
But the OLED Switch, like, it's like, oh, holy shit, it feels so much more well built. Like, it just feels so much more solid.
Yeah.
The fucking kickstand feels great. The screen looks amazing. So if you play handheld mode a lot, the OLED Switch is almost a no-brainer. The dock is way better. Like, it does not, the flap on the back of the original Switch dock just like wobbles, and you like pull that thing off, and it's like dangly and shit. The new one
Yeah.
feels a lot more sturdy. Even I like the finish on the thing. It's like a very like it feels a lot more polished. Like the matte texture on it feels a lot more polished.
Yeah.
And the white Joy-Cons look great. The white Joy-Cons with the black buttons, I wasn't like absolutely thrilled about, but like they're really, really nice. I think it looks actually like pretty slick.
Cool.
With the white dock and everything. So yeah, I've been playing a little bit on that. It's great. If you play a lot of handheld Switch, it's definitely worth considering. And I think I talked about this when this OLED Switch was announced, but it's actually not a terrible value considering you get another power adapter, you get an HDMI cable, you get a dock.
Yeah.
So if you're taking your Switch dock, if you're somebody who's like taking it to LAN parties or taking it to a friend's house or whatever it might be, you get everything to do that. So you can have like your to-go Switch bag, for your old console or whatever. You get all that stuff. So it's really not a terrible sell. And the Switch itself is super, super, super nice. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to have that. It's and the screen's bigger too. It's not just like a OLED screen. It's actually like a bigger
it's just
screen.
a little
It
bit bigger,
extends
yeah.
to the sides of the thing, so there's a lot less bezel. Yeah, it's great. It really does feel like what the Switch should have been when
Yeah,
when it originally came
I was
out.
even surprised when the original Switch came out, how much of the screen real estate was taken up by just a frame. Like,
it's all bezel, baby.
yeah, that screen is pretty fucking small, actually.
Yeah, the OLED Switch really, and I feel like a lot of Switch games they're either designed for a TV or they're ports of other games that were designed for a TV.
Yeah.
And so sometimes with a Switch, when you play those games in handheld modes, like the UI is like dinky, you know, and so it's like
Yeah.
you kind of feel like that you're playing it on a wristwatch or something. But it feels a lot more natural on the OLED Switch. Yeah, way better, way better. If you have a Switch, like I said, it's not like you absolutely need to upgrade, but if you're on the fence about it, like, consider me kind of pushing you over the other side of that fence. You should get one.
Sweet. Is that everything?
That's it. We did it.
Dude.
Matthew, that's going to do it for this episode
Let's
of Super
go.
FX. Let's go. Hey, if you want to learn more about Super FX, you can visit our website, superfxpodcast.com. You can find our show wherever you find all of your other favorite podcasts, including Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. We're all over. You can follow us on social media, including Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at SuperFXPodcast. And we want to hear from you. Reach out with any comments or questions on social media, or send us an email. hi@superfxpodcast.com. That's hi@superfxpodcast.com. If you like what we're doing and you'd like to support us, please consider doing what Rachel Johnson did and become a patron at patreon.com/superfxpodcast.
Say Patreon.
If you're yeah, Patreon. That's how it's spelled. Patreon. Patreon. If you're listening on YouTube, consider liking, subscribing, and leave a comment down below, and let Matt know how his editing was on the YouTube video.
Thanks, guys.
If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, help us out by rating and reviewing our show on there. As always, a special thanks to Kenny Martin for our theme song. You can find him at Kenma, that's KENMA.bandcamp.com. And a special thank you to you. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye!